and vaccinations and brimstone and hellfire, and I got to get up and talk about Billy taking his shirt off and nipples. I wanted to talk about something advanced, like I want to do meningitis or subluxations or chemtrails, but Billy's like, no, you got to talk about how to look good naked. So I'm going to feed you guys through and how to live a long. He was like, how to look good, and I'm like, and how to live a long time, and I'm like, okay, we can do that, how to live a long time too. So Billy, just basically, he's always texting me photos, which is why I think he actually wanted me to do this whole like look good naked thing. You did replace your rock. Do you want to show people what you replaced your rock tape color with? Do you want? Okay, show them what you're. Oh, dude, show them what you replaced your rock tape color with. See that? I was hoping he would actually take his shirt off, but Billy's a little shy. Okay, so this is actually, see, you guys are going to have to put up with a lot of nipples in today's talk. I got into this whole thing as a bodybuilder. I used to weigh a lot more than I do now, and I was 3% body fat and like a piece of steak laying on the couch who couldn't have sex or think, but I could lift weights. And that's honestly how I began to tap into this whole like look good thing. And then I shifted into the next most healthy sport on the face of the planet, Ironman triathlon, and ran around in my spandex. And now what I do is this obstacle course racing, where you jump over teeny tiny fires that are made to look a lot bigger on TV than they actually are in person. See what I tell you, more nipples. I live up in Washington State with my wife and my twin boys. My wife does a lot of cooking, and I kind of have this life where I spend a little bit of time studying ancestral medicine and Chinese medicine and Ayurveda and what we might call ancestral wisdom. I don't know why someone is cheering all of it. Someone got on the shirts off bandwagon a little bit late. We're past that now. We're onto the sticking weird things up your nose. And I blend that with biohacking, with modern science, and when it comes to looking good and when it comes to aesthetics, which I actually put on par with things like health and fertility, it's just a natural byproduct of that. It really is a blend of ancestral wisdom and modern science, and I'm going to give you, if you guys are cool with this, some of my top tips, my top 7 tips today for achieving this. I like to focus on a lot of practical stuff, so we're going to move fast, but I'm going to give you guys a lot of stuff. Okay, first of all, the elephant in the room, in my opinion, when it comes to longevity is, in addition to inflammation, which everybody is talking about, is glycemic variability. Right, glycemic variability is basically the number of times and the extent to which your blood glucose fluctuates during the day. If you can control that, you control inflammation, you control insulin sensitivity, you control pancreatic cell function, a whole bunch of variables, but not enough people are talking about it. How do you control glycemic variability? Well, a big part of it, first of all, from a nutrition standpoint, comes down to something called your first phase insulin response. Normally, when you eat a meal, when you consume calories, you're supposed to have a natural release of insulin that causes your blood sugar to be a little bit lower after you've consumed that meal. And there are certain things that you can put into your body before you eat that should be a staple of you and your patient's programs to enhance that first phase insulin response. For example, alcohol. Copious amount. No, I'm just kidding. Bitters. These are all bitters. The same thing that you would see behind the bar on the cocktail shelf. These bitters can actually be consumed prior to a meal. They enhance the first phase insulin response. Bitter melon extract. This is something they consume in Okinawa, Japan, for example, before a meal. And it lowers your postprandial blood glucose even more significantly than something like, let's say, metformin, without producing a lot of the mitochondrial toxicity and the sleep disruption that something like metformin can actually cause. So bitter melon extract is another good one. Cinnamon. What kind of cinnamon should you consume if you want to lower your blood glucose following a meal or throughout the day? Anybody know? Ceylon, C-E-Y-L-O-N, Ceylon cinnamon. By the way, for those of you writing notes furiously, you can stop and you can fall asleep or talk to your neighbor, because I have all this stuff up for you over at bengreenfieldfitness.com/whatever I showed on that first slide, CalJam 2000. So lots of resources for you guys to dig in. Another one that acts very similarly to bitter melon extract is berberine, and you can get berberine in supplemental form most often. Consume that before a meal. It lowers postprandial blood glucose. I weave all these things in throughout my day before I eat. Apple cider vinegar is another one. Apple cider vinegar is a fantastic first phase insulin response enhancer. So this is another little thing that you can work into your day. But what it comes down to is controlling blood glucose fluctuations. What else can you do? You hear about chewing your meal. This actually enhances that response and lowers glycemic variability. Chewing 25 to 40 times for each bite. That whole concept of how's it go? You drink your solids and you chew your liquids. This actually holds true for all the amylases and the digestive enzymes that you produce when you eat slowly. Strength training. Strength training upregulates what's called your GLUT4 transporter activities, and it can do so for up to a day after you've strength trained.
She's